Peace, family. So we back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how you do not have anything in common with this society. We do not have anything in common with today's society. And I say that to say, like, it's becoming more difficult to formulate conversations with everyday people. And I was kind of processing this yesterday, and I received a call from someone yesterday, and I was just trying to figure out, what did this person need? What did this person want? Why are they on my phone line? That, when people call, we don't necessarily have to answer the phone. Nobody is making us answer the phone. But it wasn't any bad terms, which is why I answered the phone. And instantly, when I answered the phone, the being was like having communications and talks with other people in their background. And I just kept trying to process, like, why are you calling me? Why are we on the phone if you are preoccupied with things going on in your background? Usually if I'm with somebody in person, I give them that time and attention. And the same thing, if I go out my way to call somebody, I'm gonna make sure that even if I do have noise going on in the background, I make sure that I'm giving them the attention, that's required, because I went out my way to call them. Nobody was forced to do anything. And it just made me realize how much of not anything I have in common with today's society people, which makes it hard to communicate and engage with them. I've been a people person my whole life. I did sports growing up, from AAU to YMCA. I did the men's league basketball after school. I did retail customer service gigs, from like Foot Action to Circuit City, which is closed, to, door-to-door sales for a lawn care. I've done a lot of things with customer service. I've always been pretty good with people and communicating and engaging. But it's like each year that passes by, I don't know if this is a helicopter. What the? My bad, y'all. It's like a really big aircraft flying past. It's not a regular airplane either. Look like it's military or something. I don't know. Either way, it needs to hurry up and pass. But like I was saying, I've always been communicative and able to hold a conversation with people, whether they was homeless on the street and I was just giving them light communication, whether it was somebody who worked at a corporate company and they had a high up position, I was still able to engage and communicate. But now I find myself having the hardest times trying to communicate with people that are just regular, everyday people. You know what I mean? Everyday people is becoming extremely difficult for me to engage with. And me and this person was sitting on the phone. It was like silent. I just kept trying to figure out, why the fuck are you on my phone if you don't have anything to say, if we're not talking about anything? And I was trying to figure out a way to either ask the question or get off the phone without being too rude about it. Because apparently, the ones who haven't built the connection very strong with Source, they are extremely sensitive. I mean, we are highly empathetic and sensitive beings, but not to the point to where we disengage with someone that's trying to have a healthy communication with us. And I was just blown away, and I'm sitting here on the phone trying to figure out, okay, should I ask the question or should I just hang up the phone? So me being me, I asked the question because they said they wanted to talk to me about something in person. They came to the city. We never talked in person. They called me when they got back out the city, and now we're just sitting on the phone silent. And I'm just like, what is the purpose of this? And when I asked them the question, I don't remember how I asked it, but it was something pertaining to, like, I know you said you wanted to discuss something with me. Did you want to talk about it now? Did you want to save it for later? I was saying that because if they said no, then I was going to be like, all right, well, I got to get off the phone. I have other things that I have to do. I'm not about to sit on the phone silent. I want to explain to them why, but I was going to wrap it up and get off the phone. And their response is like, oh, well, I didn't want to start an argument. And my thing is, like, the people that use that other playbook, they always assume that everything is going to be an argument because they are emotionally unstable. You know, we may have our spurts and our waves, but for the most part, you have to do something to us to get us riled up. But just regular communication doesn't rile us up the same way, especially when you've been on this path for a long time. It takes a lot for someone communicating with you to just completely throw you off your square. It takes a lot. And I was just processing like, well, it's not an argument if you're the only one that's, you know, emotionally invested to the point to where you're getting loud, you're being combative with your own communication. Because if the other person is silent, there is no argument. And after having that little conversation with them back and forth, it wasn't even really much of a conversation, you know. I had asked them like, so why do you call and then you sit on the phone with me and you don't say anything? You know, I got plenty of stuff I like to talk about. The future is wide open. I don't care for talking about the past unless I'm going back there for a learning lesson. And I'm cool with speaking on present stuff, but their present stuff be more so drama and talking about other people, and I don't really care for doing those things. Not saying that I haven't before, you know, but anything I've said about anybody, I've either said to their face or I would be willing to say to their face. So I'm always mindful, even when I talk about people in those kind of states, the words that I am using. And that whole situation just made me reprocess a lot of my other engagements that I've had with other people and just my day-to-day engagements with people. I used to be able to bump into people and have full-out conversations to the point to where time just flies by. I done forgot what time it was. I was supposed to be running here doing something. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I done stayed an extra 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't happen anymore. It's like from the time we speak and communicate and engage, the conversation has went to a stalemate, has become so dry that I'm just ready to get the fuck out of there. I'm ready to get away. I'm ready to keep going from point A to point B to C to D. Whatever it is I was doing. All this we have going on in society, and it's still hard to have conversations past surface level, you know. I went to an associate's house and I'm out my way in their space. And I still found myself trying to create communication. Not like forcing conversation, but I was over there for a while, so it would be increments. You know, when you first get to there, somebody's location, y'all communicate. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Then once you get all the blah, 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 it's like this empty space. It's like, all right, now where does the conversation and communication go from here? I don't have anything in common with the society anymore. Like the things that they do to entertain themselves, the conversations they like to have, it's just something that it just doesn't sit well with my spirit. I don't really care for indulging in it. I used to do it frivolously and without a second thought, you know, just being able to listen attentively, hear the sentences and the words that they're choosing to use in the subjects, and I would be able to bounce back and forth off of their subjects if they happen to be leading the conversation, or I could kind of redirect the conversation. I'm very good at communicating, so I understand all of these things. But now I'm at a point in my journey where it's like, if they ain't trying to communicate about something that's more forwarding, you know, some ideas to put together, the creator and source, I don't really have no love, life, and energy to give to it. And sometimes I find myself on the seesaw because it's like, I want to communicate and engage with people. It's like dogs want to hang out with other dogs. You know, birds want to fly around with other birds. The fish, they want to swim around with other fish. But when we're in these human forms in today's society right now, it's like people just become really annoying. Really annoying. There is some nice people, some good people you bump across occasionally, you know. But that's occasionally. That's like when I was younger, the chemicals they used to put in our shots and our foods are different than the chemicals they put in our food and our shots now. So when I was younger, smallpox and chickenpox was just passing through. Now it's not even a concern. When I was little, it used to be a handful of people at my school. Some of them would have 6 fingers on one. They would have an extra pinky. That was always a thing when I was little. Some people would have an extra toe on one foot. Now you don't see these deformities happen anymore. I guess they perfected, you know, the chemicals and poisons that they putting into us, but it was very rare still, you know? And to find people or to be able to engage and communicate with people these days, it just puts you in a space of literally just not even wanting to. And when I say not wanting to, I mean everything is on a percentage scale. If you've been following me for a while, we've been tribbing, you already know everything is on a percentage scale. So when I say don't want to, just mean it's on the lower spectrum, meaning, okay, I don't want to communicate with people now. It used to be 80, 90%, I wanted to communicate with people. Now it's like 10 to 20% that I don't mind communicating. Now it's a whole 80%. I just don't want to be bothered with people who ain't on the same frequency as me, and it's very minimal. You know, I can run in the stores and, you know, I know how to be cordial, you know. I know how to be respectful. But anything else past that, I just don't have any more energy to give towards that. It's like we fighting such a big battle out here. It's hard to constantly just throw your energy away because you feel the effects more, the more energy you give out and the more that's taken away. Communicating and having things in common with society today, you might as well just, I ain't gonna say what you should do, but what I do is I have to have things for me to do so I don't occupy my mind with having to respond to this person, having to communicate with this person, having to go there to see that person. I do it. This is the same military craft. If y'all could see this shit look crazy. He about to fly right over top of me. Look at this. This shit is fucking... I have no idea what it is. I ain't gonna lie. It looked like a helicopter airplane, and it is just going in circles, making loops. Loud as hell, louder than the average airplane. It's all expected, no harm. But you see, even trying to have this regular communication with self, to give this information back out, to share my experiences and the knowledge and wisdom that I've obtained through this walk of life, it's still difficult because they just have free reign to fly around and do whatever they feel they need to do and to waste fuel. we have to do things in order to keep us from reaching points of wanting to backtrack and to engage and communicate with beings who are not beneficial in our lives, you know. I've never been rejected as much as I have in my life before just by being closer and connected to Source and Creator, you know. Bringing up the Creator and Source in conversations and engagements, you know what I mean? Providing healthy thoughts and ideas to people that just constantly are rejecting them. My thing is, before, like, I could communicate back and forth, but I didn't have the same kind of healthy wisdom to feed them in order to compensate for the communication that we having. Now I do, and I don't force it on people, but if we communicate and engaging, I'm gonna put my 2 cents on the table. That's just me personally. Whether you take it or not is on you, but I'm gonna put it on the table. You know, I had 2 females that were trying to get in my space. I was cool, you know. I've been cool. I've been chilling. Y'all haven't even heard me. The ones that have been following me, y'all haven't heard me have no conversations about any female engagements because I've had enough fair shares now to where I'm just focused on moving forward in my mini right now. So that kind of time and space has come and gone, you know. I ran into people that I was interested in, and I wanted to see where they mental, their spiritual space was at. No good. I've had people find me through here and reach out, engage with me on Instagram, and I'll communicate it with some, and they are still in a whole nother space. You know, as far as for the females, for my fellas and my men out there, if somebody is talking and engaging with you and they're a female, you know, the opposite sex, and they're wanting to go to another level with you, if they are choosing you as a partner and you're contemplating on choosing them, they have to understand that you become the leader, you know? A lot of people feel like they lose their identity based off of their leadership. Like, you're still the same person you are when you work a job, so I don't know why as though you feel it's such a different construct when you pick your person. I'm not gonna put my life on the line for somebody who don't fucking respect me, but that mean I also can't have you in my space because I don't just allow things to happen to the people that's around me. So all of that shit is dead and out the window, you know? And as far as for my male counterparts and associates, when I engage with them, I have to stay strictly on whatever subject it is, because when things starts to stray away from them subjects, what I realize with the guys is they get more silent, or they pretend that they got other shit going on in the background, and there's really not anything going on in the background. I didn't experience this a lot. One, because the ones who engage with me personally know how I am, for the most part, you know. And for the ones who don't know how I am, they pretty good at still being able to read vibes. You know, men, we size each other up. That's just what we naturally do. It's just part of our biology. You know, it's not like, oh, I hate you, so I'm sizing you up. No, it's just a size up because I need to know. My body tells me I need to know if I can beat you or if you can beat me, and if you can beat me, what other tactics do I need to utilize in order to make sure I get the outcome that I would like. We just don't have anything in common with society anymore. If somebody was interested in me and I was thinking about doing something long term with them, right? And they told me, oh, hey, Trak, I like when you wear your hair up in a ponytail. It's not up in one right now, but if they made a statement like that, in my world, I would probably be more compromising to put my hair up in a bun a little bit more often than I normally do. just because I'm vibing with this person and I would like to do the things that they do like, even though I'm still gonna do me regardless, but abundance, something minimal. You know what I mean? And that's how I be feeling when people come into the picture, you know? It's like, especially old past beings coming into the picture and they already know what type time you on. Like, you know, I'm not a fan of fake nails. I'm cool with nails. You can go get your nails done. That is not the issue. The issue is the fake nails. You putting all that stuff on top of it. Won't you just get them painted? Won't you? I've seen people grow their nails and then get them painted or all the designs on there. Why don't you just, oh, well, my natural nails is frail. They only frail because you're comparing them to these hard-ass plastic nails. Doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? But to each his own, if that's something that they would like to do. I'm not knocking it. I was just using it as an example. That's the same airplane that's done flown over top of me about 3 times in a matter of 20 minutes. Yeah, we only been going 20 minutes. It's mind-blowing. But we gotta keep these things in mind. You cannot beat yourself up too much because a lot of these other people, they don't follow the same playbook as we do. They don't believe in sourcing the creator the same way we do. A lot of these people on the other side of the spectrum, you know, they want to twist and turn things in their liking. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if the creator says, hey, I got an apple tree right here, don't eat the apples. You know, you can take the seeds and then you can grow your own apple tree and you can have all those apples, but just don't eat the apples on this tree. We gonna be cool. We gonna be like, you know what? It's a lot of apples. I'm about to grab some of these seeds. I'm about to put like 50 trees up. But the ones who don't vibe with us and vibe like us, they're like, well, what's the problem? These apples are already ripe. They're already here. What? I'm not hurting anybody if I just grab it and I eat it and then I grab some more and eat more. I'm not hurting anybody. They always trying to put their own twist and plot on everything, you know? And it's hard to find middle ground and compromises with people who process this way. That's why I find myself in a place of, I don't really get offended anymore. I don't really take it to heart. I don't really get emotionally invested when I run in or engaging with people who do these kinds of things. Because the first thing I process is, okay, you're not using the same playbook as me. That eliminates any emotional response that I would have taken that would have been close to a negative response. We don't process the same way. I'm on Windows PC, you're on a MacBook. Both computers, but they both function and operate similar, but very different. And these are just things that we got to keep in mind when we out here communicating, engaging with people. You know, especially if you were somebody who always been able to talk to people and now you finding it hard and difficult to have a conversation past 2 to 3 minutes. You know, a lot of these people are zombies and robots, you know. Even trying to talk to some of my guy friends or associates about, you know, when they start talking about sports. As soon as I say, oh, sports is rigged or sports is a business. Oh, no, it's not. Somebody always saying, they start getting offended. And it's like, bro, this whole structure is built on money. Why do you think these players get paid so much? They aren't doing anything special other than keeping their fucking mouth shut and understanding that this is a business. They don't make football movies anymore, basketball movies anymore. You know, they don't have to make these boxing movies. They don't have to do these movies anymore because it's already right here in front of us, structured and rigged. Even if you do like the sports bet, which I do occasionally because it's another means of getting some money, but I play the numbers. It's a numbers game, and I understand that the shit is rigged. I don't get emotionally invested in any of these things. You know what I mean? But it turns all of them south and sideways. Oh, let me guess, you gonna say that the Super Bowl was rigged? Man, whether you want to say it was rigged or orchestrated, bro, it's on you. But I'm wise enough to understand that if these sports books job is to make money, why would they just give money away? You have to earn it. That means you have to learn their system in order to really make some money. Just like you got to learn their system if you really want to communicate and engage with people. But it's not that serious to me anymore as it was when I was transitioning. And I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on it. I'm very okay with shutting down conversations, communications, engagements with people when I feel as though the conversation isn't going anywhere or it's just a bunch of silence and stalemate. You know what I mean? I've sat around people in silence and been completely comfortable, but I've also sat around in silence around people and it's been extremely uncomfortable. You know, just weird space. Meaning that when I feel those weird spaces, I know that in the spiritual realm, I'm way over in California and you're way over in New York. We are sitting beside each other and we are nowhere near each other. And it's the same vibration when we're on the phone. You know, I can tell that you are somewhere far away on a whole nother planet and my planet is completely opposite of your planet. We just got to keep these things in mind. Like, we don't have a lot in common with these people anymore. They still concerned with shopping. You know, I'm not against traveling, right? But to constantly still be worried about traveling to the cities and to the hot spot in these hot zones of the matrix, I don't really care for that anymore. You know, if I travel somewhere, I want to go to some low-key or exotic nature location. That's just how I vibe. I'm not saying everybody vibes that way. If you want to enjoy the luxuries of this realm, to each his own, you know what I mean? But I enjoy finding peaceful spaces to add to my peace, to allow me to be able to think and process a lot better than what I have been, you know what I mean? And we have enough battles to fight, and that's one battle and fight that I don't want to partake in anymore, so I choose to stay away from them spaces, you know what I mean? So don't fault yourself if you have a hard time communicating and engaging with people at your jobs, you know what I mean, at the office, whether it's doctor's or dentist's office, you know, whether you at the store, corner store, grocery store, all of these spaces. You know, just be mindful of these things. They are on a completely different spectrum than us. And the more knowledge and information we try to put out there to them, like I had told somebody one day, because they be having like real bad migraines. I'm just like, did you hydrate your body? You know, have you made sure you drink some water? Oh yeah, I drink a bottle of water when I was at work. Bitch, that was at work hours ago. You think one bottle is enough to hydrate you if you don't know how much water you've been intaking for the day? You should be continuously drinking water, especially if you're in the house. You can use the bathroom whenever you want to. So what is the issue? Clearly your migraine isn't that bad if you don't want to drink water to make sure you rehydrate it. So if they say, oh yeah, I'm rehydrated, I've been drinking water all day. So then if you still got a migraine, then I'll throw out another solution. I'll be like, well, did you try taking a break from the technology, you know, turning some of the screens off, just trying to get your inner space to settle down? Because sometimes you will catch migraines if you are running too rampant in here. Behind your eyeballs start to throbbing and aching, your brain feel like it's bouncing off the side of your head. Like, you have to settle these things down. Before I didn't know like different ideas and solutions to give to people in that department. Now that I do, and they still become rejecting of it. And it's like, yo, this is your health. Like, if you haven't tried it, what is the big deal in trying it? I didn't tell you, hey, go jump off a bridge. You know, hey, go slice yourself, go cut yourself. You know, like, hey, go binge on as much brain rot content that you can. It just be blowing me. Like, I never told anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. And I never give out harmful information that's detrimental to their health or to their life. And it's still met with rejection. This culture is over. And it needs to hurry up and crash out so we can start reformulating. But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.